Jim, this is amazing, man. She is really excavating a burrow. Now, you've gotten some eggs out of her already.
Yes, we have 6.
6 eggs, that's incredible,
And she's
man.
usually good for a dozen, give or take.
Okay, very cool. Now, you guys remember our gal. We did a feeding at St. Augustine Alligator Farm, which is where we are, the zoological park. Last time we had a real good feeding with her, which was really incredible. But we're back up because there's a couple things we want to introduce to you. One, a new animal we want to introduce, but more importantly, she has been dropping eggs. So I know you have to get in there right now. You just want to make sure that that burrow doesn't collapse on her, because that's a real concern.
Right. I'd hate to come in and see it cave in on her.
Yeah, or even if she decides, hey, I'm gonna sleep in here. The nighttime is getting in the upper 50s, so that's way too cold for a Komodo dragon. So why don't we go walk through the back and you'll get prepared, and he's gotta do a few things because it's not an animal that you just walk in with.
We sincerely thank all of you happy campers out there. Your support makes a real difference in our efforts here at Kamp Kenan. This week's shout out goes to Siri Lupo. Thank you for all you do and for loving reptiles.
Of course, we're at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm and Zoological Park, one of my favorite places to come visit here in Florida. If you're ever in Florida, you want to come to St. Augustine and check it out. Also, it's fun because they have every species of crocodilian here on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, Lauren, there she goes. Another one of my buddies. She's the reason I am very involved with the Orlidia turtles, because she's the stud bookkeeper. So here is, you guys remember this from the last video?
I'm gonna go grab a riot shield.
Okay, he's gonna get a riot shield, and he's not kidding. It's gonna be a little bit different with Jim right now because he is actually gonna go in. He's gotta get himself what he calls a riot shield. I don't know, it might just be a bulletin board, you never know. It's something to save his feet from the potentially grumpy mother lizard. She thinks she's a mom. So there's something interesting we'll talk about when Jim returns, and that's parthenogenesis, that's virgin birth. And reptiles are able to do that, which is pretty amazing. But there's something really unique about how large monitor lizards can do that. And some gecko species, you'll get clones of the parent organism, but you really were serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a little narrow for me.
Just hold it this way, buddy. Come on.
At one time I could fit behind here, but...
Oh my gosh. All right, well, there you go. Listen, this is something you have to do, though, right? I don't want you to, don't do anything for art.
No, I don't want it to cave in. And if I approach and she's clearly really interested and not going to let me in, I'll leave.
No, all right, very good. We're not foolhardy here. Anyway, I was talking about parthenogenesis, and with monitor lizards, as opposed to some of the smaller gecko species that have it, the monitor lizards, when they go to, well, let's say Komodo dragons, they can produce the opposite sex than what they are.
Right.
That's incredible.
Right.
Why do you think, the evolutionary advantage of that is?
I like to think that these animals have, especially ones that, not like a frog that's laying thousands and thousands of eggs in seasons.
Yeah.
I like to think these animals at one time in history or another have gone through cataclysmic events that have really tried their population.
Okay.
And perhaps
they just didn't have, yeah.
It's some miracle, evolved to
just reproduce
that ability, yeah.
That ability to have the opposite sex. Now, as we know, reptiles aren't so genetically, it's not like mammals inbreeding. So what's cool is maybe the fact that these animals are insular, that they colonize islands. If they get to an island and there's only gals around,
that's true.
A couple of years they'll have a reproductive
and that
male.
could explain why that type of thing could happen quickly.
Awesome.
Instead of taking,
well,
1,000 years.
Exactly. Okay, well, we're going to get him in. He's going to take you guys on the ride into the Komodo dragon enclosure. So, thanks, Jim. She's got eggs in her belly, and he just wants to see how deep she's going and doesn't want her to have that collapse on her. So he wants to just make sure that she's a good burrow engineer. So guys, how cool is this? The fact that, Jim's giving us this incredible, behind the velvet ropes, as it were, of the zoo here. It's incredible. But look at her. She's definitely alert. She knows he's in here. But these are very, very intelligent reptiles, believe it or not. Monitor lizards are highly intelligent when you're talking about a reptile. And so she knows Jim. She just wants to see that he doesn't get too close to what she's constructing, because as you can imagine, if she's going through the process of being a mom, we all know moms want to take care of their babies even if they aren't officially born yet. So she wants to have a nice secretive place. But look at this, powerful, powerful animal. So Jim, man, very cool stuff. And she did stop what she was doing. She wanted to see what was going on behind her, which is, you know, makes sense. So what did you extrapolate from all that?
So the hole is deep enough that the earth on top, if you look at the roots, it's not going anywhere. So it's
okay,
nice and
good.
solid. But I got to tell you, whenever she's shown us any type of indifferent behavior that worried us when we're in with her, right? It's almost always feed response, and so, which sometimes they just want to like bite first and figure out what it is later. So you really got to watch some of these big lizards. But this time, when I went in and you were looking through the glass, she gave me that extra wide eye,
right?
Which is angry. Which is get out of my face.
And that's really important to understand the nonverbal communication with lizards. You know, I say this so many times, reptiles in general, the nuances are so minuscule. We don't, you know, they don't smile, right. They don't really grunt, they don't give you any real warning. So you have to be really in tune with the animals that you're a steward of, and that's amazing. And when we look back at our adventure with Tom Crutchfield, one of the things he said when working with the croc monitors is look at the animal's pupils. This is an animal that's relaxed. The pupils relaxed, but when the pupil was agitated or wild.
And even the eyelids.
Okay.
I mean, so I've seen it with alligators and crocodiles too, which is funny because, you know, you're used to seeing some really upset lizards twitch their tail and stuff. And that's
puff up.
And that's a pretty good obvious cue, but that, knowing if that animal's eye is open a little wider than it usually is pretty, like you said, very subtle.
Okay.
And then when the way she postured in approaching me as
very
I was
confident.
Backing up, and that's also why I backed up slow. I don't know if they would be triggered, like if I were to run like all mammals are.
Okay.
I really haven't tried Komodo dragons.
Okay.
But I chose to go slow backwards.
Yeah, very cool. I'm glad you did that. Now, there's more in this video, guys. It's not just about the gals here. We know that she's still got a few eggs in there. We'll see. You said the eggs don't look like they're going to be fertilized. No parthenogenesis, unfortunately. That would be exciting, but you keep on incubating those eggs anyway because you never can tell.
Until we know they're back.
Okay, but we are going to go on over to the quarantine area, and we're going to introduce you to her potential suitor. It's going to take a little while. But you got another one. We got a young lad who one day will be introduced to this fine female, and we'll hope that it's a match. Let's get over there.
Okay.
All right. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Okay, so we're about to go, hopefully, because he's skittish, meet the potential suitor for our big female.
Oppie's his name.
Oppie. All right, very cool. So we're going in, and this is really cool because being that this animal is of a less intimidating size, and I am wearing the proper clothing, I'm going to be allowed the access. And this is a quarantine situation, right? So this is basically to make sure that there's no issues with this animal. So let's go ahead. And you can see he's so wary, and I'm trying to speak very calmly. But look at him, he is a cute little guy. He is a cute little dude. Yeah, let's just see what he does. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get close. How cool is this, Jim? So we're seeing this is inquisitive behavior from him. You know, this is typical monitor curiosity. Can I eat this? A lot of tongue flicks. So he is extremely interested. And would you say this is the most kind of bravado he's shown with people?
Yeah. The only time he usually stands still is if he's on a perch. So the fact that he's on the ground, but I have to tell you, today is feeding day.
Okay. So yeah, now it looks like he's had enough.
He'll be fed later in the day, you know. So.
Gotcha. Okay. So with the quarantine, about how long are you going to keep this animal off display and in quarantine?
Well, he'll probably live here for actually a couple years.
Okay.
Because it's got a roof. Right now,
Right.
Even if we wanted to take him to the on display area and rotate him, he's vulnerable to
Predation from birds of prey.
Yeah.
And you know, the younger Komodos are actually better climbers. And even though you have those inward sloping walls, it's quite possible because of his size that he may actually be able to climb out. But this is actually good. You kind of want to, as a keeper, you want to get the animal to trust you. And we're kind of giving him, when we crouch down, guys, you see, like when he comes closer to us, we'll stand up because we don't want to allow him too close, because obviously we don't
investigate too much.
Right, and we don't
Oppie.
want that to happen. But here we go. Now, as
Oppie.
soon as we do this.
Hi, Oppie.
Cool as that. I do find that they respond to their names. They respond to calls. You know, when I call for Slinky, he doesn't even see me. But I'll say Slinky, Slinky, and he comes out of his his hide or from wherever he might be hiding. It's really, really, look, monitors, crocodilians, and I love tortoises and stuff, but monitors are just so intelligent. There's something going on, which makes them a lot of fun to really work with, because anytime you get to see this kind of animal that looks almost like a myth, you know, the mythical dragon, but to see that kind of thinking behind the eyes, it really just gets me excited. So this animal, you know, a couple years living in here, it's gonna have to get much bigger if he's gonna even think about being able to hang with our girl, because she is no joke.
And she's still going to be growing too. So.
Right. Okay, but him being a male, he'll tap off at what, 12 foot possible?
Yeah.
That's, guys.
And you know, we've seen something with crocodilia. If later on, when he does get some close size to him, but still maybe not big enough for her, if we can take him to that Komodo area and rotate him, and he starts getting her scent and know that she's around, that'll actually kick in his growth.
Oh, that's amazing. So you think that in the wild, once these young monitors get too large for the trees, they come down, do you think there's a growth explosion because they just have to get big to compete?
Absolutely.
So when they're small, these guys are going to be eating bird eggs, insects, basically anything they can catch, and then they go for the bigger prey, which makes sense that they'd have to get big quick, because there's going to be a lot of competition in those feeding aggregations, right? Komodo dragons are actually going to, it might be one animal that bites a large prey item, but then it attracts Komodo, you know, dragons from all over.
Right. And you know, we've learned with like big alligators as well, when you look at a big Komodo dragon's stomach contents, you actually still find tons of small bugs and
Really?
and arthropods, and
So they're opportunistic. They'll
Exactly.
take calories from wherever they can get them.
Exactly. You know, trying to, I'll look at that female that we just met, and she'll have little anoles and insects running around her enclosure, and she doesn't even see them. She doesn't pay attention at all.
Okay.
But I think a wild dragon would absolutely pay attention.
Well, she has the luxury of having her food brought to her.
Exactly.
Interesting stuff. But I just love the way he's walking, and so, you know, just a different coloration on the juveniles as well. So this guy, how old is he at the moment?
Oh shoot, you asked me too quick.
Oh,
I think he's
4 years old.
4 years.
But that's awesome, guys. And he's just showing off. He's got that high walk. He's letting you know he's a little annoyed. And I think he's had enough of us. In which case, oh no, he doesn't want to go in yet, but that's it. Hey, listen, I got to say thank you so much to Jim Darlington for being available for us today to bring us behind the scenes. Oh, he's back again. Look at this guy. He is something else. So again, shout out to Jim. Thank you so much, and all the staff here at the Alligator Farm here in St. Augustine. It's an amazing zoo. I believe it's the zoo for you, if I'm not incorrect.
Absolutely.
So you guys need to come down and check it out. Come say hello. to at least the female. It'll be a few years before you guys publicly meet this animal, Oppie. But you know what? If you're a Kamp Kenan viewer, you just met him. Thanks, Jim. I really appreciate your time, buddy.
Of course.
Thanks, Oppie. I'll see you when you're a bit bigger, buddy. And maybe you'll be making babies someday.